journalism's response to the atrocities to our colleagues in Palestine. First and foremost, we'll be joined by Adil Bradlow, a freelance journalist based in Berlin, who covered the early stages of the war from Israel and the West Bank. In a recent piece, he paid tribute to the journalists in Gaza who have continued reporting despite the unimaginable dangers that they face. Adil, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media. Really looking forward to hearing from someone that has been on the ground, that's been in Gaza and has seen the beginning stages of this genocide, essentially, that is being live streamed to all of us.
Yeah, firstly, thank you for having me. And it's a story that's very close to my heart. I've been going to Gaza since basically 2001. I was there for months on end during most of the 2000s. So, all in all, I must have spent 3-4 years in Gaza. And then I went back on October the 7th and spent 4 months there covering that story. But I've got to be quite frank, it's just, it's just too much. Just carries on and on, never ends.
Yeah, I think that's the worst part, just how the impunity seems to be getting worse and worse. You've covered other conflicts before, the October the 7th. How does the scale of, journalist deaths in Gaza compare to other wars you've reported on? And also, in your piece, you mentioned, the difficulty of accessing Gaza as an international journalist. And we know the blockade the Israeli genocidal machine essentially has put in place to restrict international journalists. How has this restriction almost shaped the world's understanding of this war?
Yeah, I think the thing to understand about Gaza is it's a giant concentration camp. It's being turned now, I guess, into an extermination. And it sounds like things are getting, well out of hand.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, there was something happened on the line there.
Yeah, I think there was a cut in the connection, but I can hear you loud and clear now. You can continue.
All right. So basically, in comparison to other struggles, there's been nothing like it. I mean, it's in a league of its own. There's that, all right. So you got the body count, which is one thing, right? But as you were alluding to just now, you also have the impunity, the fact that they can get away with it. And I wanted to say that Israel's campaign against the media is not just killing journalists; it's killing stories too. So I was reading today that the IDF is working with Meta to remove pro-Palestinian content from the internet, from their services, from Facebook, from WhatsApp, make it hard for them to access it. That's a very sinister development too.
What would you say are, some of the key lessons that the media space, the world of journalism essentially can learn from what's currently happening in Gaza and this attack on journalists as a whole?
Well, look, the one thing that, as I said, the body count is unprecedented. The impunity is unprecedented. The extent to which the Israeli government is prepared to go to keep Palestinians off the air it's unprecedented in terms of everything that's gone before. But I don't know. You just feel like, despite all that, right? Despite all that, the story still gets out, right? They're not able to control it, and this is the problem that they're having at the moment. Is that we're in a new age of journalism. There's not the days when I started back in the 1980s. There were a couple of broadcasters. The media was an exclusive club. Now everyone with a phone is a journalist or a storyteller, maybe a journalist, maybe pushing it a little bit. And that's what happened in Gaza. Is that despite everything, no power, no hospitals, no food. There's somehow they keep their phones going and they keep getting the story out. So I mean, despite everything they've done, that they keep coming up against this new age of media in which they have, marginal control at best.
Mm, mm, mm. As I mentioned, in my intro that you were in the West Bank, covering some of the IDF's raids. Did you ever feel at risk as a journalist yourself? Were there moments where you felt press freedom was being suppressed by the IDF?
It's a very tricky it's very tricky to characterize it because, I mean, for example, I was working with Al Jazeera, and
Mm.
the previous summer they'd had a journalist basically assassinated, a sniper. But it's difficult to tell how much of this is actually sanctioned, i.e., ordered down the chain of command, or is just rogue soldiers. Because basically they've been given free. The IDF is far from being this band of disciplined elite forces. They're essentially these days a gang of thugs with guns, and the rules of engagement are so loose now that yes, you really can't come up against them. When they tell you to leave, you have to leave. Otherwise, they'll just shoot you, and you're lucky if they're telling you to leave. I mean, what's going on in the West Bank? I mean, they kidnapped an Oscar-winning director out of his home in the West Bank a couple of weeks ago. I mean, come on, what's
Yeah, yeah. I think
this is after they beat him up, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
They
think
took him out of the
it
ambulance. Yeah.
it just shows the impunity now that they know that there won't be any kind of consequence, and it doesn't matter who they're targeting, as long as you look and sound like you're Palestinian and you're a fair game according to them.
Well,
You
just,
wrote
just hang
about
on, just before
yeah,
you go on, just the story of the medics, right? The
yeah.
14 medics who were killed in Rafah, right?
Mhm,
That alone, I mean, they thought they'd got away with that, and I mean, I'm surprised they didn't go through the effects of the medics that they'd assassinated and taken their phones and stuff, because obviously this guy, he was able to speak from beyond the grave, and
mhm,
revealed the lies for what they are. I mean, like yesterday, they struck a hospital, calling it a Hamas. Uh, what do you call it? Military installation. It's bollocks. I mean, there's just no
mhm.
other way of putting it.
Mm, mm, mm. You wrote about the bravery of Gaza's journalists in your piece. Can you share an example of their work that you say it had particularly moved you or shocked you or showed you another side of this profession that we haven't seen in a very long time?
Man, I mean, I'm a cameraman, so I deal in pictures. So
Mm,
I mean, the scale of the horror is just. I mean, for me, what really gets me is the drone shots, just the scale of the destruction. But then you have like images like the burning tent camp that was shelled by the Israelis, and then the people caught fire. There were those pictures that made everybody stand up and take note for a while. But the horror just goes on, and after a while, it just becomes numbing. I mean,
mm,
I don't know how they do it, quite frankly. I mean, how they can keep going day after day. There's no, for many of them, there's no way out.
mm,
The Egyptians charge a fortune to get out.
mm, mm. Just in closing, Adil, looking ahead, do you fear that this high toll of journalists, this high death toll of journalists in Gaza, will have a somewhat chilling effect on war reporting globally?
No, in fact, if anything, it's going to promote it. I mean, like I said to you, that the power is in the hands of the people now. How do you get rid of that? It's just not easy.
No, thank you so much, Adil, for joining us. Really, really appreciate your time, and thank you for standing in solidarity with our colleagues in Gaza, who I think at this point are going through some of the worst moments in human history. And looking forward to chatting to you again.
Thank you, brother.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's always interesting hearing from someone that has been on the ground firsthand. Adil Bradlow, the freelance journalist based in Berlin, he covered the early stages of the war.